Tonight on CTV News, what really is going on when it comes to this $3 billion Chinese investment? We'll give you some details.
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening, welcome to CTV News, live streaming every night at ctv.co.nz. It's being described as nothing more than public relations puffery. Yesterday, the council, along with a Chinese company, talked up the so-called Memorandum of Understanding, with some talk about investment in the city. So here's some questions to ask. So what are the investment opportunities? What does this actually mean for Christchurch? And why would a Chinese company bother investing in this city? Today, CTV News spoke to the Canterbury Chamber of Commerce, who did its best to talk up the announcement.
Christchurch will see a major capital injection into the city's rebuild, with a Chinese development company looking at spending up to $3 billion New Zealand dollars.
It's a great commitment for Christchurch. Basically what they've done is they've come into the region, they've identified that there's huge opportunities here for them, and they've made a commitment by saying, look, we want to bring some expertise, we want to add some value to the rebuild of Christchurch, and they've chosen some local partners to identify where they can best do that.
Gossing International, a group split into a number of organisations, is one of the biggest development companies in China. Over the past 16 years, they've invested around $750 billion into many projects, both in China and abroad. There hasn't been any confirmation yet into what areas the Chinese group are interested in here in Christchurch, but it's understood major projects could be on the cards, even anchor projects.
They're a massive company. Any investment outside of New Zealand generally is on the large scale, but they're also fully aware of the fact that some of our opportunities are big, some of them are small. So I think that's what they're doing, is they're really identifying exactly what now.
The Christchurch City Council has signed an agreement of friendship to improve connections, not only for the investment but for other areas, including export opportunities.
There is a lot of interest internationally in Christchurch. It's not often that a city gets to completely rebuild. So there's a lot of opportunities across the whole city, not just in the rebuild either, I might add. There's a lot of interest in some of our other key industry sectors here in the region. We're renowned for being leaders in innovation and technology, and so a lot of interest coming in, and the rebuild is sometimes a catalyst for putting the spotlight on Christchurch.
The council hope to attract more overseas investors to help grow the city, being a problem for some time to get investments set in stone. They hope the latest deal will help create a template for others who are interested in the region.
We have lots of delegations that come into Christchurch, and even more so over the last 3 or 4 years. And I think the difference with this is that they have come in to the marketplace. They've done a lot of work in building relationships locally. They want to work with local people. They want to collaborate.
The council will be hoping this will be one of many to jump on board the rebuild. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
And just a footnote to that story, I spoke to NBR Christchurch reporter Chris Hutching today, who told me on the radio the devil is always in the detail, and there's simply no detail, and described yesterday's announcement as nothing more than PR puffery. And you can hear that interview by heading to my website, chrislynch.co.nz, or the News Talksby website to hear his rather terse words to the council. Well, it's been labelled a freak accident. A driver transporting a house through Kaiapoi last night says he got a massive fright when his load burst into flames. King House Removal employee Warren Willis was moving the home along the main highway around 10:30 last night. As the truck drove underneath power lines, the power jumped and connected with the house, engulfing it in flames. Willis says he's been speaking with police this morning, but nobody's to blame. Residents of Sumner may have noticed something different in the air today, literally, as Chelsea Daniels explains.
The deconstruction of a house in Sumner had locals out watching the process, with a helicopter replacing the work of several trucks and machinery.
There's a demolition taking place over my left shoulder at number 12. The house has been demolished. The material has been put into bags which can be an underslung load for the helicopter. The helicopter is about to take off again. It'll pick up the bags, take them up the hill and deposit them on the truck from which they'll be taken away.
And they didn't just wing it.
You'll be able to see from the site that it's difficult to get to. It's very steep and constrained. This is the safest and most cost-efficient method for us.
They looked at a number of methods, and this was the most cost-effective way. And Wenders says the process could be repeated for future projects.
We look at all methodologies, or a number of them each time we do this. In these particular circumstances, it was the most cost-effective and safest way of doing it. I suspect it'll be back on the table for other sites later on as well.
The house sported a huge cliff and earthquake risk, and as a result was uninhabitable.
You can see up there how close it is to the cliff. So the damage on the house was not huge, but the risk to the house was considerable. Therefore, the government offer was made, accepted. We now own it, and we're using this methodology to take the debris away.
He says that it's not the first time this method has been used, but it's the first time Sarah have adopted it.
We know of a number of occasions where it has been used. It's the first time we've done it in this manner. We've used helicopters for other work elsewhere, and we know of several other insurance companies that have used it as well.
And it's the least disruptive for the residents around the site.
All those houses there are all privately owned. All the owners have been spoken to about what's happening today. Everyone's comfortable with what's going on. It's a really short transit. The disruption to the community is a big part of our consideration when we're doing this. By using a helicopter, we can really minimise that. Having a number of trucks in there and heavy equipment, noise, dust, vibration, etc. would be much more disruptive. This method reduces that considerably.
Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
Still to come, we'll look at the local weather forecast. The Armed Defender Squad raided a property in Linwood today in a search for illegal drugs. A woman at the house on the corner of Stanmore Road and Hereford Street has been charged with supplying drugs, and a man has been taken into custody on an outstanding warrant to arrest. The property, which has links to Black Power, was raided at 10 this morning and police broke a window to gain entry. Police say cannabis, synthetic cannabis, and a reasonable amount of money was found. Police say the raid was pre-planned after a tip-off from the members of the public. To some sports news now, and Canterbury remain unbeaten in the ITM Cup after a win against Waikato last night. They didn't make it easy though for the other team, as Gordon Finlater explains.
Canterbury rugby fans, treated to a rare midweek game, were met with wintry conditions at AMI Stadium, and it didn't take long for them to think they should have stayed home and dry. Playing their second of 3 games in the space of 7 days, Canterbury's lineup had an unfamiliar look to it as somewhat of a B team took to the field. And it took just 6 minutes for Waikato to take advantage. The visitors pounced in unison from inside their own half, with well-timed support runs piecing together a great team try. Sean Stevenson dotting down for the first points of the night. Waikato would be in again before the break, Damien McKenzie having a dart 15 metres out from the Canterbury line. It would pay off as well, with the first 5 showing great agility as he seamlessly skipped his way through the defence. Trailing 14 points to 3 at the half-time break, Canterbury were forced to ring the changes in a hope to save the day in the second 40. The referee came to the party midway through the second half, Ben Tamiafuna sin-binned for an alleged punch. However, replays show there wasn't much more than a couple of handbags. Canterbury took immediate advantage of the extra man. The rolling maul, which has provided the Cantabs with plenty of strike power this season, was at it again. Ben Fennell scoring in his 50th game for the province.
Fennell scores in his 50th!
It was then the turn of fellow substitute Matt Todd to take advantage of Canterbury's dominance at line-out time. Todd's try with 10 minutes remaining completing the Canterbury comeback. The drama would not end there though. Damien McKenzie showing nerve to put Waikato back in front by 2 with a perfectly struck drop goal. With time ticking down, Canterbury worked themselves into the Waikato half, eventually earning themselves a penalty and handing fill-in captain Tom Taylor the chance to take glory. Taylor showed no signs of nerves, striking the 3 points to win his first match as captain. The 18-17 win means that Canterbury now go to the top of the ITM Cup standings ahead of Tasman. It will be another short turnaround for the team this week, with 4th place Taranaki visiting AMI Stadium on Sunday. Gordon Findlater, CTV Sport.
A group of Diamond Harbour locals came together to help support their local fire service. How? Well, by listening to Barry Manilow's hit single Mandy over and over and over again. Jared McCulloch with us.
Diamond Harbour. It's 7 o'clock. It's quiet. The streets, they're quiet too. But as for the cafe, well, it's Barry Manilow happy hour, or maybe 2.
Well, you came and you
Keen locals piling in, ready to challenge themselves like never before. Some say it's torture, others say it's for a good cause.
Well, it started off as basically a joke one evening in the bar. Somehow we discovered a thing on YouTube. It was Barney Manilow singing Mandy, 2 hours and 15 minutes.
It's something he's looking forward to, I think.
Oh, God. Well, you couldn't, nah.
It was Manilow's first #1 hit back in the 70s, gaining huge success in the US and Canada. It only reached number 30 in New Zealand. And somehow it turned into a marathon event, competitors being sponsored to raise funds for their volunteer fire service.
We're needing to replace our old about 1975 van, so we're looking for something now with a stretcher in it, or a stretcher capable to do an interchange with St John's, that sort of thing.
They need $70,000 in fact, a customised vehicle to help with their medical response as well as fire. It's not an easy task. The 20 volunteer members work hard to keep the community safe with around 60 call-outs a year. Last year it was over 100.
We just really appreciate these guys, and they're so passionate about what we do that it sort of, it strikes a bit of a chord in their hearts too.
So the grueling 2-hour marathon begins. It's half an hour in. Everyone seems okay.
Can I go home now?
But there's some relief for those not competing.
He's got earplugs and headphones provided for the people that aren't involved in the sponsorship. So so when it gets too much for them, they can put them on. But we don't have that luxury.
So do they think they can do it?
It's okay for the first 3 minutes, and then it's.
Well, I remember the days when I really used to like him, but I haven't heard him for years, so it's all new again.
Once you hit about 45 minutes, I think you're going to hit the, to hit the peak, and then it's going to get a bit hard.
It is everywhere, trust me. Even around the corner where the smoking bay is, they've got a speaker there and they can hear Mandy over and over again. But inside is where it's all happening. Follow me.
You could easily, run away from it. You can go into the bathroom and go out for a cigarette. So we said, no, absolutely not. So it's piped into the bathroom and outside, as you can hear. So there's no escaping. As
we were filming, we absorbed the tune. We started all right, and then, well, it went downhill from there. How are you feeling so far?
Well, I just feel like it's one line playing in my head continuously, but I'm actually more worried about tomorrow. I just think that everyone here is just going to be humming the one line all day.
Tomorrow, when we start driving our cars and we start getting to your head and you're still driving, it's going to be there. We'll probably have to have another pint to just get over the line.
There's only 15 minutes to go. I think this song might be deleted from some personal playlists.
Absolutely not. I will not want to hear it again.
Oh, it's doing well before this, I think, yes.
Have you been enjoying it? Can't I have?
Oh, luckily she's got earmuffs.
But it's like you're listening to it through headphones, so it's a bit worse.
2 hours, or 120 minutes, or 7,200 seconds. Yep, it's all over. Raising just over $4,000, their work here is done. They plan to do something similar next year, but for now, believe it or not, some are just enjoying the encore. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Coming up next here on CTV News, we return to news with all things business and the regional weather forecast. Welcome back to CTV News. Here's Warren Head now with a wrap of the business news.
I'm Warren Head from headliner.co.nz. Well, this morning began with everybody waiting for the Fonterra Cooperative's big profit announcement of the year, and we were not disappointed. In fact, it was quite spectacular. It came in at $506 million. Top line was 18.8 billion, so 500 million on the bottom line, up 183%. and the revenue up 16%. Now that's pretty good going, isn't it? That's an exceptional result in very difficult market conditions. And one of the things I took away from that was that there was a change coming through here, that the company, the cooperative, was now starting to earn more from those added value products, the extra manufacturing that goes in, that everybody has been urging them to do for so long. Of course, on the downside of that, they have just also said that they're going to cut their jobs back even further. So there is never any sort of real satisfaction in an overall sense from these things, is there? In town, the big news is that the City Council, bless their hearts, have come up with a very big potential backer in the form of the Guangxin International Company out of China, which is going to inject potentially up to $2 billion into projects in the city. Now, this is a very big group. It's tendered for about $750 billion worth of work over the past 16 years. And these are the people who built the big stadium for Beijing for the recent Olympics there. They intend to establish a fund in New Zealand to explore a range of investment opportunities with a major focus on the Christchurch rebuild. And I believe the developer of the Silverstream subdivision out near Kaipoi has had a hand in getting close to this company, so congratulations to him for bringing it this far as well, and to the City Council for getting this over the line. But of course, from the business perspective, everybody's interested in who's associated with these companies, in what they plan to do. So the people who are there for the signing up included PwC and Cavill Leach and the ANZ. Now, PwC are building that new headquarters building. Well, it's been built, but they're going to lease it on the corner of Cashel and Cambridge, and they are adding to their corporate basket of clients. However, on a smaller scale, across the other side of the island, in the town of Westport, more bad news there. They are now indicating that the factory that manufactures cement is going to close in the middle of the year. That's next year. Holcim, the Swiss-owned corporation, is importing cheaper cement out of Australia and putting silos on the docks at Timaru and building one in Auckland. Now, what that means for the good people of Westport is loss of jobs, 120 jobs to go in that, and a very big part of that regional economy falling out like so many other things over there for them. Personally, I'm not impressed with these big internationals who can whip out the foundations of a small town when it suits them and stick around when it doesn't. So I'll be watching that space, and hopefully that leads to some action there in the future. Maybe a falling Kiwi would change the mind of people who import product at the expense of New Zealand enterprise. And there's a small company there, just started up. It's going to have a meeting in Westport, 10:30 on Monday morning, called Advanced Northern West Coast, that is trying to raise funds to encourage tourism into the area. They're requesting $100 membership fee from local businesses to get in and get it running. Perhaps people from outside Westport might like to make contact with them as well and help them get it up and going. Z Energy hit $6 a share on the stock market this week. What's behind that? Well, they're proposing to buy the Chevron service station chain. It turns out it's going to cost them less to buy it, by about $10 million, only $55 million to buy it now. And they're looking for much more gain from it, earnings savings up much higher than expected from their earlier estimates. So the share price has gone through the roof. In the meantime, of course, the Commerce Commission has yet to give approval for that particular purchase. And just to note that somebody seems to be copying Christchurch from afar. Our little pop-up stores downtown that have taken our fancy and still entertain us in the Cashel Mall have been part of our existence here for some years now. However, the giant retail chain, The Warehouse, has decided to build a little pop-up in Auckland, I must say. We might get one here. It's called a Click and Collect. It's a pop-up store of only 30 square metres with an inventory of only screens and things like that. No product on the shelves. You take a look at what's in there, and you swipe your debit card or your credit card because the store's cashless, and you go away and then you collect it back at the stores. Clever idea. Shows you how retail is changing, isn't it? Warren Head for headliner.co.nz.
All right, before we get to the weather news, we have some late breaking news coming into us here at CTV. Just had a response back from the council in terms of the controversy over spending $500,000 to some British artist. What we want to know here at CTV News was exactly who signed this off in the first place. As you'll be well aware, there's been a lot of anger over this. The council has written back saying the council, whoever that is, has decided to withhold the names of the 2 executive team members who signed off the recommendation for the Public Arts Advisory Board in relation to the statues, and they've used the Government Act as some excuse. They say the withholding of the information is necessary to maintain the effective conduct of public affairs through the protection of such members, officers, employees and persons from improper pressure or harassment. So in other words, no consideration is given to what the ratepayers think about this, but every consideration is given to those who feel it's okay to flitter away $500,000. Rest assured, we won't let this story rest. And now it's time for the region's weather forecast.
Kia ora Canterbury. Well, today low cloud and dull conditions persisting again. Unfortunately, a bit of drizzle for most places and easterly winds turning southeasterly. Today's highs first up, 11 for you Timaru, 10 there for Temuka, Geraldine and Waimate. Central Canterbury, 11 degrees also for Christchurch, Akaroa, Leeston, Darfield and Ashburton. However, Methven, you're a little bit different there on 9 degrees today. Heading further north, 11 degrees was also the trend for Kaikoura, Cheviot, Amberley, Culverden, Rangiora and Oxford. Hanmer Springs a little bit cooler on 10 degrees. And over to the Alpine region, sunshine for you Arthur's Pass today on 11, but 8 degrees for Mount Cook and Lake Tekapo. Now tomorrow, another dull bleak day for you Timaru. Southerly winds, could be a few showers during the day. Cloudy skies mostly though, and 11 degrees for your high. Ashburton might need your brollies again, could be a few showers in the morning and evening. They should be fairly light though, with southerly winds breezing through. Christchurch, you can also expect a bit of a grey Friday. Northeasterly winds breezing through, 13 degrees so for a high, so a little bit muggy there. And over to Kaikoura, you're expecting much the same, easterly winds and 12 degrees for your high, with cloudy skies and a few showers. Now the rest of the Canterbury region can also expect a little bit of a wet one. Soggy Friday in store with easterly winds here and southerlies for you Waimate. Central Canterbury, a little bit grey for you as well. Southerly winds breezing through for Akaroa, Leeston and Methven. A few light winds for you Darfield on 11 degrees for your high. Heading further north, Hanmer Springs, you might actually get to see some sunshine. Cloudy skies with a little bit of a sunny break in the afternoon potentially. However, everyone else, just cloudy skies and rain showers for most of the day. And over to the Alpine region, heavy falls for you Arthur's Pass. Mount Cook though a little bit cooler on 10 degrees. And looking to Saturday, unfortunately southerlies coming through, chilling down the temperatures. Kaikoura, we could be seeing a little bit of snow to the 800 metre mark. Cloudy skies and rain throughout the day for most places on Saturday. Looking to Sunday though, it's looking a lot better. Sunshine finally. Sunny breaks in the afternoon and low cloud in the morning with lovely warmer temperatures. That's 14 degrees there for Timaru. Looking to the rest of the Canterbury region on Saturday, those southerly winds coming through, cloudy skies and there could be a little bit of rain throughout the day. On Sunday, as I mentioned before, it gets a lot better. We are seeing some sunny breaks. Starts off with that low cloud, but that should be easing off during the day, revealing some nice sunshine in the afternoon. So the next couple of days, we are still expecting that dull, bleak weather. However, the sun is coming out on Sunday, so maybe plan a nice outdoor walk or a picnic Sunday afternoon. And that's your weather update for Thursday.
Thanks, Mercy, and that is your CTV News for Thursday. Join me on News Talks a bit tomorrow from 8:30, but from everyone here at CTV News, have a good night.